Good morning, people. Good morning. I hope this is working, the audio. Yes. I'm using a new mic. Well, actually, an old mic that I found again. Yeah. I'm. This one's a little different, and I'm using it with my new phone, my iPhone 6 Plus. Well, it's a new old phone. Yeah, my other phone got damaged, and so I had to, well, I had insurance on the phone, and so they sent this one. Yeah, so they sent me the same one. Yes, good morning, good morning. Um, yes, hello, viewer. Let me know if you can hear. I have this mic on, and I don't know whether it's working properly. I did do a test, but again, doing these live streams, things could change. Yeah, so I hope it's working. Yeah. Yes, I was up all night. Yes, I was. Yeah, it's sunlight out there. Let me show you. Yeah, so it's sunlight. Yeah, that's my monitor. Yeah, I woke up. Let's see, what time was it? It could have been maybe 1 o'clock. I went to bed early. Yep. I've been getting tired, people. I've been getting tired. Yeah, I went out yesterday with my dogs. I used this stroller. I didn't go far. I just went, oh, um, like 10 blocks there and back. I had to do some shopping, get some things, and came back and had my dinner. Yeah, I don't know, I get really tired walking. Yeah, the muscles in my calves. It feels like it's like I did like a marathon. Yeah, it gets real tight. Yeah, and yeah, I don't know why it does this. Why I get so tired so easily. Yeah, I am anemic. That would do it. I am anemic, but I find that I get really tired, especially uh, after I eat. Yeah, I eat one meal a day. I eat in the in the afternoon. That's like my dinner. And after I eat, doesn't matter whether it's all veggies or some meat. I get tired like an hour after. Yeah. Yeah. So early to bed, early to rise, and that's definitely what's happening here. So I fall asleep like at 7 p.m. and I wake around 12 or 1 o'clock, and I stay up because I feel fine. So I was watching some videos, and I saw some videos that was really interesting. Um, I find the movie fascinating, and I've seen the movie many times. I don't get bored with it. I saw two movies, but I in particular enjoyed the movie, um, The Adjustment Bureau. What's his name? How can I forget his name? Matt Damon. Yes, Matt Damon. Yes, good morning, viewer. Good morning. Yes, yes. Say hello in the chat room if you like. Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to be timid. Yeah. So anyway, um, I love that movie, The Adjustment Bureau. I was recommended that movie from a video I was watching on YouTube, and these were people who part of the genre, the secret space program, super soldiers, and they were being interviewed on the topic. Uh, it's something that they claimed that they experienced, and that certain movies touches on the subject of certain technologies, things like that. So I was watching. Oh, so I wrote down the name of the movie and then I purchased it. Yeah, I love it. I think I bought the movie 2018. Yeah, I love. I've seen it many, many, many times. Never get bored. And it seems like each time I watch it, I get something a little more out of it. Um, so actually, well, so I watched that movie, The Adjustment Bureau today. But before I watched that one, I actually saw another movie that I was recommended, um, The Manchurian Candidate. And The Manchurian Candidate stars Denzel Washington. That movie um, also it ministers to me on a deep level. And I think part of the reason for that one is because I'm a veteran, and Denzel Washington, the movie, is um, someone who's in the military. Sometimes um, I don't know. Oh, major. He was a major. Um, and the movie Candidate, he had gone through um, some type of MK Ultra mind control. Yes, and it's something. Now I saw that one first. I just felt compelled to watch that movie because I was watching something on YouTube. Yes, I am a YouTuber. I enjoy watching YouTube. I watch it for entertainment and I watch it for answers. Um, again, uh, I'm on a spiritual journey. And what do I mean in this context of being on a spiritual journey? Well, what I mean is that, um, sorry, just looking, that I'm really trying to awaken from a slumber. Yes, we're all in some type of slumber here, and you have you have different levels of awareness. And again, I was raised like I think most people, born and raised in New York City, um, but just things seem a little different. Just somehow, like in the movie, when you analyze the movie, The Adjustment Bureau, or even the Manchurian Candidate, you see that there's things going on outside of the protagonist's awareness. Things are going on behind the scenes and they are not aware. Well, they start to become aware. And I feel for myself, I am coming into an awareness. And it's not just one thing, but um, watching those two movies today, back to back. Uh, yeah, that's right. Let me back up just a little bit. Now, I was watching something on Jeffrey Epstein, the um, the man who was about. It's going on 2 years now. He's the man from New York City, who was involved in using teenage girls as a honey trap for the rich and famous politicians. And he was what they call suicided in prison. So before any trial, he was conveniently suicided. And that got me thinking. And I just felt compelled to rewatch The Manchurian Candidate. And watching The Manchurian Candidate, and I watched it without the subtitles. Actually tried to put the subtitles on, and it didn't work. But maybe it's better it didn't work. But I started really noticing. Um, and again, this video is not so much to give like a detail about watching both of those movies, but things that I started noticing. And after watching both movies, well, the other one, the Adjustment Bureau, is like halfway done. Uh, I said, as I was watching it, the Adjustment Bureau a moment ago, I closed my eyes. Now again, I woke up around midnight, and the time right now is after 8 a.m. in the morning. Yes, today is I think March 17, 2021. It's about right now, about 8 o'clock in the morning, after a little after 8. Let me see what time. Yeah, 8:16, 8:16 in the morning. And as I closed my eyes, just to kind of rest my eyes, because now I am a little tired, I saw a vision. And I find that my, now when I say vision, okay, many of you know that what I do early in the morning, upon awakening from a sleep or dreaming, I keep my eyes closed, relax my body, and oftentimes I start to see images. They could be live, what looks like a live image, like you're at a remote site. I mean, that you see something, almost like a movie. You see like something playing in front of your closed eyes. And it looks like a modern setting. And, or sometimes it's as if like a photo. But today I saw uh, it, I didn't feel it was a still image, but it was a building. Yes. I saw a building. It was extremely fake because now my ability to see imagery happens quickly, and I don't necessarily now have to be, just awakening, from a sleep or dreaming, you know. Uh, I could just just a little tired, and I just want to rest my eyes a little bit, and I just stare as if staring straight ahead with my eyes closed, as if I'm looking at the back of my eyelids. Yeah. So, so today I closed my eyes just to rest my eyes as the movie was playing. And what did I see? Well, I saw it very quickly. Uh, it first starts off like a shadow, like contrast of shades of light and dark, uh, straight lines, and then the detail comes, like something very faint and hazy, and then it slowly gets clearer. And so I felt excited about it because uh, I don't know what this means. And so I wanted to share it with you guys. Um, so I did get a piece of paper. I did a quick sketch. I'm not the best artist, but I hope I could convey what I saw. Let me just turn the camera. Okay, okay. Now the first thing I saw was like a pillar, a white thick pillar, and then I saw these arches. Okay, so imagine like it again. What I saw was three-dimensional. Like you did, something you're looking at. These are supposed to be like arches, and it has dimension. Um, this was at the top part of the ceiling, uh, like a molding, like the top. This was like the very top of the ceiling, the edge, and then it had these squiggly things. Like uh, I don't know what you call it, like something carved. that protruded out. And I think each of the um, arch had one of these squig, something. I'm just using this as representative, something squig, something above it. And then this is a wall. This is all the wall, and then this thing is like a molding protruding out from the wall, and then this is on the very top of the wall. So that's supposed to be angle, like designate like a dimension. But yeah, so imagine the top part portion of the wall and ceiling where they meet is this. Okay, so it's a molding, and it looked like a white. It was a light color, and that's what I saw. And um, yeah, I hope that I portray it well. But it seemed Romanesque, like something you would see, ancient buildings from Rome or Greece, or like you notice like in Washington D.C. You have government buildings, and you notice the government buildings they all have that same Roman or Greek influence to the architecture. Yeah. And so what I'm appealing to people, uh, anybody who is the screen is getting funny there. It got darker. I thought it was going to shut itself off. But yeah, anybody who is someone who knows about sculpture, anybody knows what this kind of looks like. Again, this is like the top part of the ceiling. I think you call it molding, like something with rooms, fancy ornate rooms on the edge, where the wall and the ceiling meet. This, and it protrudes out the wall, and it had a little decoration. And I did see a pillar. I just drew this, a pillar. Not that it was positioned where these are, but I just to remind myself that I saw a thick pillar. Look, they look white. Really nice. It was really nice looking. Let me turn the camera. Yeah, so I thought it was important to say this. Okay, I'm at the 18-minute marker. Yeah, I think this is very important because, see, I believe what happens when I see certain things, and again, I did not fall asleep, but because of what I'm watching, and my subconscious, I would imagine, is trying to make sense out of those two movies. I believe both of those movies, the Manchurian Candidate with Denzel Washington, and then uh, the Adjustment Bureau with Matt Damon, they, they, they're similar. I mean, on the surface, again, I saw both movies many times, but in particular, the Adjustment Bureau. It's a good romance. While Manchurian Candidate is politics, very hardcore politics and violence. Um, they actually have the information, and again, I am a little tired, and so your body could relax easier when you're tired. And then, boom! Um, I saw the that vision. I believe this place exists. I don't know what my mind is doing, and is this a place I've been? Is this, you know, is this a headquarters? Yeah, let me go there. Is what I'm seeing the headquarters of the people behind Hollywood, the movers and the shakers of the planet. Don't you notice that government um, government agencies, uh, European based, that so that would include America, Canada, um, just Europe, definitely, other parts of Europe, Western Europe, places that are influenced by you know Rome. That Rome still lives today, even though nations are independent of Rome. But the fact that the buildings, I mean, they make buildings today, especially buildings in the turn of the century. They made them look so much like Rome, the Roman buildings. Why? Because Rome never really fell. It just spread its influence. But I gather that the people behind Rome, ancient Rome of its day, the Roman Empire, still exists today and still are in power. They are in power. And so that because they are in power, that's why their governments, the governments of today, are based on Rome, Roman law. So I would imagine if the laws and the ways that you make design the buildings, the way of operation, it's all Rome. And so I believe what my mind could do. See, my mind is no different than anybody else's. I'm just a regular YouTuber. I'm just a regular woman living in New York City, trying to make sense out of all what's happening in government. Um, Here, last election in 2020, November 2020, total fiasco. And all that melee that happened, all the whole year, 2020, you had a major election coming up, and then you had the pandemic, as I call it. And it's these distractions, all these distractions that happened last year. And if you study the two movies that I mentioned, The Manchurian Candidate and The Adjustment Bureau, you'll see um, that people's lives are filled with distractions. My life is filled with distractions. A big distraction is the race card, racism. See, all these are, I mean, race is it's really no such thing as race. I mean, yes, it's differences in appearances, but these are all social constructs to divide us. Um, we're physical beings. And you think, what they say, 6 degrees of separation, that we all basically are related. There's some connection between, people. And so why all this division? Why are families fighting each other? Do any of you belong to a family and you're like fighting each other? Any of you? Or conflict at work, or you live in a community and it's just everybody's backbiting. What if the things that you experience in life is really social constructs, meaning that there's someone behind the scene that's controlling you, controlling your experiences, but making it look like It just it just happened. Nothing just happens. That's what I'm learning. Nothing really just happens. And both movies, The Manchurian Candidate and The Adjustment Bureau, uh, the protagonists in both movies are people who are being followed all of their lives. Even like The Truman Show. That's another hot potato. Yeah, the Truman Show, it, it it's they make fun of what's going on. You know, not take it so seriously. But that movie it really hits it on the head. But I think they're kind of over exaggerating. But the Manchurian Candidate and the Adjustment Bureau, it's more seems more realistic, and it's very cleverly done. But both of them are very real. The Manchurian Candidate, the character played by Denzel Washington is a Gulf War uh, uh, military. You know, he served during the Gulf War, um, and he was serving. He was in active duty. He gets hit in the head by a so-called guide. Um, what do you call it? A civilian. Oh, they call it a civilian contractor. You're right. And they intercepted Denzel Washington and the troops that were with him under his command, and one of the other officers. Oh, I think was the officer. Yeah, the one that was to run for politics. I don't know that actor's name. But yeah, but in that movie, you had a man who enlisted. He came from a very prominent family. He's a white fellow. And you learn in the movie that before he even entered the military, uh, his life was intercepted by his mother. And it seems like his mother might have had the father wiped out, and the wife, or no, I should say, the mother wants the son to be groomed for the White House. And so she sabotaged his relationship with this woman. And when that happened, that's when he went into the military. He went in as an enlistee, even though he had the opportunity to go in as an officer. So it looked like it was all staged. You learned that it was all staged. I mean, yes, he went into the military, according to the movie, and uh, they they didn't want. They staged an event. They intercepted his like a caravan, and they attacked Denzel Washington's character and the others, and they put them through mind control. And they put in the narrative that the white fellow from that prominent family, that they're going to say that the white fellow rescued the, 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 the soldiers and Denzel, and he's to be awarded a medal. Okay, now that was done to put him, to position him for politics, that he's a war hero. Okay, so they took the glory away from Denzel Washington's character and brainwashed the troops, put them through horrible mind control. And who did the mind control was an a private corporation that is all about money and control. And then you had a white South African guy who was the crazy scientist. See that again? These German, uh, was he German or Dutch again? Dutch and German, very similar people. Different, of course, different because different country, but two peas in a pod in my book. And they had played him as a crazy scientist into genetics, genetic research, and mind control research. And he's the one that actually did the operations on the soldiers, including Denzel Washington's character and the white fellow who is in the future to run for office. So 15 years pass, and he's running for politics based on his mother's leading. Um, and then in the end, it got, how did it got found? Oh, yeah. The Denzel Washington character was, now they have him on the surface who looks like a very stable military person. And he's, you know, they have him go visit like the Boy Scouts. Um, he was teaching about the different types of medals um, people could receive who serve in the military. And at the end of that talk with these, uh, the parents and the kids, Boy Scouts, uh, an adult figure comes up from, he entered into the room and he said a comment, said, "Hey, don't you wish you would have gotten that Medal of Honor?" And he was being very, Denzel replies, "I'm just glad that I was able to serve, blah, blah, blah." Well, that man who asked that provocative question was one of his former um, soldiers who served under the Denzel Washington character. And being that he too was under mind control, but he was getting, his programming was becoming faulty. Um, yeah, how do you say it? Both the Denzel Washington character and this fellow that came into the room that asked him that provocative question, doesn't he wish he would have gotten that Medal of Honor? Um, they, their programming, like even though they're under mind control, when they dream what really happened, what the real scenario was, that Denzel's character saved everybody, not the white fellow, and other things. And but the soldier is mentally more fragile. While Denzel's character, he's on the surface looks like a strong military fellow, while the other guy's a drug addict, and you know. Uh, so that meeting was like the catalyst that really woke him up and had him openly question the narrative, which led to a series of events. Because again, what's going on in politics during with this movie is an election, a presidential election, and his former uh, person uh, that worked under him was running for office, and they're both in New York, I think, and they meet up. And in a nutshell, it's discovered that the mother is involved with mind control, and when the son found out through Denzel's character, as Denzel became more and more aware, and Denzel's character was being observed by a shadow government. Yeah, so it shows you that people are being watched, and when he initially started asking questions after he met the guy, his former soldier that worked under him, um, it kind of shook him to question. Like, now, he too was having dreams, like the guy who's a drug addict, but he kept things quiet. So he had a veneer of everything's okay in his life, but he wasn't okay. Um, so that's what shook everything. And so I think when that happened, when he started asking questions, uh, then he was being surveillanced. And the movie proceeds, and uh, it's come. Uh, he realizes, and everybody now realizes what really went on, and um, ultimately, this shadow government that's controlling is called the Manchurians. They have their hands in a lot of affairs in businesses, governments, and they got exposed. And what they wanted to do was to arrange for that guy to get into run for office as a VP. Yeah, he couldn't run for president, but they had him run for vice president. And because it's under MK Ultra, they were to uh, have the one running for president to be removed, permanently, and to put the other guy in. Doesn't that kind of remind you of what happened in the last election with Trump and Biden? Doesn't that remind you of what happened last year? That you have someone working behind the scenes and then removed the one that actually won the presidency for a second time and put that other person in. So it's really interesting how things work in Hollywood and what reality is showing you. Okay, um, so I think that's why I thought watching that movie today, Manchurian Candidate, um, resonated with me because it reminded me of what happened last year in 2020 with the 2020 election. It was taken. And you have people working behind the scenes who made it happen. And then in contrast, the Adjustment Bureau also uh, had to deal with shadow government, the government behind the government. They portrayed those guys as the men in black with powers. So it was reminiscent of the movie The Matrix because they're wearing a suit and that hat on, right? So I think it's something about the suit and tie, I made mention of that some time ago, about a month ago. Um, I did talk about it, the the importance of the suit. That when you see the suit, that is part of the program. It's to say, because I'm wearing this, almost as if I belong to some place or I am in the position of authority over you because I'm in a suit and tie. That gives me my rank over everybody else. So when you see a suit and tie, isn't it like a mindset for you guys that you accept them right away, sort of, that, oh, these are professionals, these are people who know what they're doing, and you don't really question their authority. Don't question. And some are better at convincing you of authority than others. But just notice that, just like you notice, like um, the financial district in New York City, they will all wear suits and ties, and they all kind of act like robots. At least when I was younger, in my 20s, and I worked in the financial district, 20s and 30s, they seemed very robotic. They were very, I don't know, very pushy, mean. Most of them are men. But yes, you have women that work in the financial district, but the men in particular with the suits and ties, uh, very domineering figure. And they just seem to oversee everything. Uh, so I think it's a correlation. There's some significance, what they call the men in black. Men in black are men who wear suits and ties. But what is the origin of the suit and tie? Yeah, I had mentioned that before. And I wanted to do research on the development of where did the suit and tie come from? That uniform. It is a uniform. And it's a type of, I think, a military slash government uniform. Just like in the military, you have uniforms. And when you see it, it designates your rank, your position, your job. What are you there for? What is your training? See, it's all related. But over time, we lost the meaning behind this suit and tie. You just know that it's a sign of authority or business, that they are the businessman. Well, what is the business? Didn't they say that countries are businesses, they're corporations? And they explained, researchers have explained that United States of America, the U.S., is a corporation. So that's why everybody's wearing a suit and tie, some type of control. And so I guess in a corporation, you have assignments, you have tasks, and you always have who's in control. Every corporation has a president, has someone in charge. But now I'm learning that it's not the president that makes all the rules as I thought they did. They don't actually make all the rules. But there's other people, just like in the movie The Adjustment Bureau, because in the Adjustment Bureau, the protagonist was being watched all along. Uh, they had his brother killed. The brother dies of an overdose. According to the movie, the mother died. I think a month apart they died. The mother and the brother, and then the father conveniently brings the boy um, to Washington D.C. to see the Senate, see how the government is run. And that's pretty much sealed his interest to go into politics. So the trauma the boy went through in the Adjustment Bureau were the death of both his brother and mom. So trauma doesn't have to be those electrodes and the traumatizations, what you hear about. But trauma could also be a death of a loved one, someone that you care about, and having two deaths. So he did act out in school. He got into fights and everything. But this is all part of the programming. And it turns out that in his life, he I think they might have he and the girl in the movie, The Adjustment Bureau, might have actually been friends in childhood or something, or a brief meeting. But the original script, um, according to their life, was that they were supposed to have a relationship. But the plan changed. The shadow government said, no, we're going to use them for something else. So it seems like meetings are done on your behalf, meetings that you don't know about, and purpose behind those meetings or plans change. They can say, okay, you're going to do this at this age, and then for whatever reason, okay, let's adjust it. Okay, now the person's going to do that. So it was really interesting that the movie explains the ins and outs of their life. As the movie went on, it started to reveal more and more what was really going on in the guy's life, of the protagonist in that movie's life, from very small to his current age. And they were grooming him for the Senate. um, but again, he's still handling trauma, because of his upbringing. He still is very reckless with his life, and so they always have to fix his mistakes. um, and again, he wasn't supposed to meet that girl again. So they conveniently made it so that she'd break her leg. Yeah, these. men in black have powers to move things, like put something in your path so you trip and fall. All these things, they could perceive your intentions. They said that they can't actually mind read, but they could perceive what you're going to do and then act accordingly to prevent it. So, so his life was being followed from very small to adult. So his life really wasn't his own. His life was being monitored by other people. Yes, good morning, viewer, good morning. Yeah, I hope you can hear the audio in this. Yeah, um, let me know if you can hear the audio on this. I've been on for 45 minutes already. Yeah, oh, yeah, I really hope the thing is on. So, oh, don't squeeze it. I tried to squeeze it before and it cut itself off. Yes, good morning. So let me continue. So if you can hear me, you could just press the one that you can hear the audio. I'm using a new mic, and I just want to ensure that it's working. Yeah. So what happens? Yes, good morning. Hey, Amethyst. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, Amethyst, could you hear my audio? Oh, good, great, great. Great. I'm really happy to hear that. Yeah, I'm talking about the correlations between these two movies that I was watching today. I've seen both movies many times. Yeah, The Adjustment Bureau and The Manchurian Candidate. And the both movies on the surface seem different, but it's right on. They both are really discussing the same type of thing about shadow governments, people who are in positions of power that are controlling every aspect of your life, and you just think what happens in your life is just happenstance. So again, getting back to the Adjustment Bureau, um, the the protagonist in that movie discovers that he was being monitored. One day, he meets this girl of his dreams, and then um, he was yeah, he meets a girl, and then it was the day that he lost the candidacy because of his foolishness. And what was that? I think a couple of months later, 3 months later, yeah, 3 months later, he bumps into the girl again. They exchange. He gets her number, and the secret government grabs. Oh no, no, I almost forgot. He was reported to work. Okay, so he lost the election because of his foolishness. He did a very childish prank, and it cost him the election for the Senate seat in New York. And then he what's that now? Um, he starts a job with his friend. He had a childhood friend, this guy, and he's working for his friend from since childhood. They knew each other, and now, okay, he 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 starts a new job where his friend works, or a friend owns the company or something. Well, either way, the friend brought him in. That's a handler. Yes. So the protagonist in the Adjustment Bureau movie had a handler also. Yeah, oh wow, that's right. He had a handler from childhood. And he seems normal. They understand each other. Yeah, and in fact, his handler was had gone into the bathroom where um, the protagonist of the movie, played by Matt Damon, uh, sees the girl of his dreams she was hiding in the men's bathroom because she did a no-no. She had crashed a wedding in this building and was hiding in the men's bathroom. And when the Matt Damon character, after he lost the election, he has to go into the men's bathroom, and he's studying. I mean, he's rehearsing when he's going to tell his constituents. and he discovers the lady in there, and the two start talking, and it's love at first sight. The chemistry between the two is fantastic. I love it. Just for a a love movie, you know, for you young ladies, I like a good love story. It's fantastic. But it's all about the secret government. So they start to kiss. Yes, that man and lady are kissing in the men's bathroom, and his childhood friend walks in the room on them. Okay, so it's really interesting. He's always there. And so, yeah, he loses the election and he starts working for his childhood friend. Yeah, it's called the Adjustment Bureau. The Adjustment Bureau. And yeah, you can download the movie. I mean, I paid for the movie, online. It's a good investment if you're on a yeah. And then the other movie that's um, really talk about the same thing, but it it's happening on a different level. One is government, one is a military level, and one is government level. So the Adjustment Bureau is on a government level, while the Manchurian Candidate with Denzel Washington, that is again the Manchurian Candidate, Manchurian Candidate with Denzel Washington, that one is military. But also, there was someone, yeah, yes, in the Manchurian Candidate, um, it's a presidential election in that movie. And when it's found out about the secret government, they 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 they, um, they were to try to assassinate um, the person that's running for the top office, and then they were to put in the VP in his spot instead. So they wanted to steal the election that way by assassination. Yeah, I have to be careful with these words. I don't want my video to be uh, targeted. Certain words, because it is being said over the internet, could trigger responses in people who are monitoring the internet. Um, so that's what happened with Manchurian Candidate. It was about overtaking a government, uh, putting your own candidate in there. And because he's mind controlled, they have devices in his brain so they could control him. It was a private corporation that used this crazy guy from South Africa. He's had like a German style type of accent, German, Dutch. Yeah. And it's really interesting. And um, he was the person that actually did the experiments on these poor soldiers in Manchurian Candidate, okay, which was about the Persian Gulf War in Kuwait. That's that's where that movie starts from. The um, Kuwait during the Kuwait War in 1991, and then eventually to lead into um, uh, the running for the top office in the government, U.S. government, and the Adjustment Bureau also was about getting someone in the White House, and they followed this guy from childhood, and they had what they call the Men in Black, the Men in Black, but they made him to seem like almost angelic, because they had so-called powers. They had the power of what do you call it, kinesis, to make things move. And oh, they wore a hat in the Adjustment Bureau. They wore this hat, and this hat allowed them to go through dimensions. Like they open up a door, and it served as a portal. So that it's really weird. It's really interesting. Yeah, they can go through different dimensions to get from one location to another. So they were beyond time. They can go from one place to another instantaneous. That was the other powers. So that's what made them seem like that, like almost angelic. But like when I first saw the movie, The Adjustment Bureau, I saw them like, oh, they're angelic. Oh, they're doing humanity a good work. And then when you really start analyzing it, no, they're not angels. They're creeps. They're beings that just have technology that are exploiting other people for their political gain to run um, governments, to run businesses, and that's where his friend came in. In the Adjustment Bureau, he had a childhood friend. They're adults and everything, and they had visited his friend's business, and then they zapped him. That's how they found. Okay, almost forgot about this part. See again, Matt Damon character doesn't know about being followed or the Men in Black. Um, when he went after seeing the girl, I had to go. Yeah, he I think went to talk to his friend that hey, he finds the girl of his dream again. You know, um, something. But either way, he went in a room to talk to his friend, and his friend was being everybody at the job was catatonic. They were like frozen. Like when you look at them, like let's say someone was um, walking, so they're like in a froze, like that, like that they frozen in time. And he's watching. He says, "What's going?" He doesn't really pay attention at first, but when he went into his friend's room, they were all catatonic. His friend was on the phone, and then they had these things connected to his head, doing doing mind control, using electronic devices to persuade him to uh, propose a particular policy or procedure. And everybody else that's in the room, they're all catatonic. And so when Mac Damon Carrier comes into the room, he sees all this stuff. He sees these guys wearing these hats and uh, not hat. Oh, I forget what they're wearing. They're wearing some weird stuff. Um, they were all wearing black. I think one had like helmets and their face gear covered. Because again, they don't want to be seen. I mean, they don't want to be identified. And so when he sees this, that everybody's catatonic and they're having those probes in the guy's head, he runs out. So they chased him and they do get him, but they have to level with them who they were and that they are special people and they're there on the planet to just make sure everybody's in compliance and what they want out of humanity happens. And that if he tries to go against it, they'll get rid of him. And that they didn't want him to get involved with that lady. And so remember they had exchanged numbers. Well, he had gotten her number, I should say. And so they took the um, telephone number away from him and burned it in front of him. They said, "You better not reach out to her." Well, fate has it that they did meet up again by chance. So in the end, um, they do meet up again. He's infatuated with her, and he leaks the bag. He tells her what's happening behind the scenes, that these people are out to get him, manipulating everything, and he to prove it, he showed her the different doorways. Yeah, because his one of the so-called angels, Men in Black, feels sorry for him and wants to help him and get the girl. And he's a black character. Oh, that's the other thing. Oh, it's fantastic. You got to see this. Almost, because I almost forgot. Well, the two movies, Manchurian Candidate and The Adjustment Bureau, uh, they have a common denominator, another common denominator. The actor, the uh, the black fellow in the movie who plays like the so-called good guy, the good angel, or Men in Black, he was in both movies. I think his name is Anthony something. I forget his name. Oh, I love the act. Oh, I just love the character he plays in The Adjustment Bureau. Okay, he plays the black spiritual guy uh, who's a Men in Black, the good guy in the movie to help out the Matt Damon character. He also was in the Manchurian Candidate with Denzel Washington. He played the uh, army guy, the soldier who dies in the movie. He died tragically. He was killed by the guy, the white guy, who would later on in life, 15 years down the road, run for office. So under mind control, um, they have, oh, interesting. The white guy kills that black guy, and Denzel Washington's movie character in the movie Manchurian Candidate, he, Denzel being a black guy, kills a white guy that was in the movie. Isn't that interesting? So what is that all about? I'm just realizing now. Duality, or polarity, black versus white. So the Kabbalah is all about this world system is about polarity, about extreme opposites. And that's why in the United States they play the race card tremendously because it is a duality perception that is governing this life heavily. Everything, or man and women using this sex card. But and what's happening now in New York government? They want to remove Governor Cuomo from his seat as governor. He won 3 times, and they're trying to remove him. How so? By a sexual scandal between, in this case, a woman. There are about 3 women that came forward that uh, said that he did something to them, sexual harassment or something. Yeah. See, that's how New York plays. If it's not race, then it's something sexual. Okay? So both movies had that common denominator actor by the name of I forget his last name. Yeah. So the first, which movie came first? Okay. The Manchurian Candidate movie came out in 2004 when I checked Google. And the Adjustment Bureau movie came out in 2011. Okay, so so it seems like he elevated the actor that played in both movies. They killed him in the first movie, and his reward for doing that movie to be it was so tragic, and I didn't even recognize him being the same guy. I just realized it when just watching it today. I mean, I've seen both movies many times. I bought both movies, and when I feel like watching, I just watch it. Yeah, he he died tragically. It was so gruesome. I couldn't watch the part when he died in that movie. Let's see, from 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 7 years later. 7 years later, they did the Adjustment Bureau. Now he's the good guy, and he doesn't die in that movie, but he's more like the hero in the movie. Well, one of the heroes. Again, he's working under the cabal, the shadow government, and he intercedes for the Matt Damon character to save this relationship. But they don't explain, at least, folks, I don't understand in this movie why they chose that man to play the like the good guy, the good angel, or the good Men in Black. That I have not figured that out. I haven't figured that out yet. Um, he was a young fellow. He played the part very well. Um, why they chose him, I don't know. And other people seem to be pigeonholing him. They don't like. They don't. They. I mean, some people just say they're just plain out racist. You know, it was racism why they were needling the black guy. You know, it's an assignment, and his assignment was to watch over the Matt Damon character in the movie. But they were um, mistreating him. You know, they were um, harassing him. You know, belittling him. Um, but in the end, he comes on top. You know, both characters come on top, and so I thought it was interesting. So why do I mention about this now? Um, the whole point, I think, Hollywood is teaching you something. Hollywood is teaching that your life really isn't your own, and Hollywood rewards you. I, it seems like Hollywood is trying to, um, they're programming you. They're also telling you a story, a secret, uh, the narrative. They portraying a narrative. And some might say maybe it's predictive programming, but we're being programmed. Hollywood is a programmer. And I think that's why it's the system. You notice Hollywood is into the, oh, I gotta sneeze. I feel like so I was gonna sneeze there for a moment. Yeah, it seems like Hollywood is about oh control, and they're willing to pay you a lot of money, but you have to compromise yourself. You have to take on roles. In this case, the guy they killed him in the first movie, and then 7 years later, he gets a better role. Yeah, um, but it's teaching you something. It's telling you in your face through entertainment that your life also is being controlled. You think that you're living your life. You think that you chose that school, and you don't find until later on that maybe they sabotage someone else to get you in. Um, People that you've met that you want to form a relationship with, uh, that might have been facilitated or pulled away from you. Yeah, just like also in the movie The Truman Show. The Truman Show is more obvious of control. Um, but there are things that aren't as obvious, and that's the movie The Manchurian Candidate and The Adjustment Bureau. Behind the scenes are being worked. Um, what about in your life? Have you ever done things and you wonder why things don't work out? Well, maybe you have someone overseeing your life. Yeah. Um, yeah, all both movies, Manchurian and Adjustment Bureau, both of them had people overseeing them. At least with Denzel Washington's character in um, the Manchurian Candidate, um, the person that was watching over him uh, was revealed later on later on, once he started to, once he met that other fellow that was in the military with him, and he told him, hey, he's having these weird dreams that don't make sense, and and it made him come out the closet, so to speak, about he too was having the same dream that that something else, some other narrative happened, and at that point, he had someone follow him, and even to the point of where he goes buys his groceries. She was the one that rang him up. Yeah, in the very beginning of the movie, she was there, and she says, "Plastic or paper bag," and she conveniently presents herself when he was going to meet somebody in New York City, and she, oh, I'm going to meet whatever there, uh, and hey, maybe you can join me. You know, all convenient. So they can present people in your life, and it could be someone at the cashier. Yeah, something as innocent as at the cashier, and they're in on it. And um, look at the adjustment bureau. The what was that? The friend that he worked for, and what else? And then the Men in Black. The Men in Black, they weren't visible until he went off track, you know. Um, but yeah, all his life. And of course, in the Truman Show, you had someone that was orchestrating everything about his life, every aspect. And yes, you had one of the characters who had a God complex. He almost served as the God overseeing uh, the guy that played Truman. But I share these things to you today because awareness. Hollywood is telling you something through the movies that it shares. And again, as I made mention in the beginning of this live stream, of the vision that I had. And that vision was of these, but let me show you again. Sorry. Remember this. This supposed to be, sorry, the screen is a little, sorry. Um, these supposed to be, I saw in today's vision a pillar. It was a thick pillar. And that's what that's supposed to be, a pillar. And then these were like arches, very Romanesque. And above each arch, I think it was like some type of sculpture, some swirly sculpture over each one. I think it was. I think it was each arch. And this was part of a molding of a building. You know, with some interiors of buildings, they have molding that's on the where the wall and the ceiling meet. It's decorative. Okay, and that's up here. That's all what this is, because it came out from the wall. So imagine this portion here is pushed in, and these are the arches, the moldings, and this is all a wall. And it looked like a stone, like white stone structure. And I saw this as I closed my eyes, just rested my eyes just a little bit as the movie The Adjustment Bureau was playing. When that movie was playing, The Adjustment Bureau, today, um, I saw this. It was faint. It was a kind of faint. I couldn't see it extremely well, but you could see it. And I'm wondering, and I saw the designs on top. I mean, I'm just making this look like a little squiggly line, but it was something like that, you know, something decorative above each of the arches, you know. It looked like it was like a Roman styled structure, you know, the architecture was such. And so, let me turn the camera. And so I really start questioning why I saw that. Why did I see those arches today? I believe that when you, what I'm sensing, again, I'm speculating. Again, I don't know. I don't know. I don't fully understand why I see what I see when I meditate or in a very relaxed state and you close your eyes, but you keep your consciousness there, okay? And you see things. Um, I think it has to be connected to the movie. See, your mind is a receptor. It only like television waves, uh, radio waves. It could send out and receive, and that's all what my mind is doing. Wherever where the mind is able to receive data, and it's not something I'm consciously seeing. I mean, not consciously saying. It's not like I closed my eyes today and said, "Oh, I want to see um, pillars. I mean, columns and arches." No, it's just something. Boom, what I saw, and I think it's the subconscious mind that's tapping into the significance behind the two movies because it's all about a government. And what's more stronger than our current government in America, but uh, the Roman governments that are in control today. Even though they say Rome fell, Rome just spread out globally and it controls like our government. What does when you go to Washington D.C. What do the buildings look like? It's all Roman in influence. What is our government run like? Like ancient Rome. Rome never fell. It just spread out and it's controlling whatever it's controlling. But where's their headquarters? I believe that I am tapping into the headquarters of something that is controlling the world governments. That's what I believe. I know it sounds very crazy, but I don't do drugs. I mean, my sound mind. And anybody could do it. Anybody could just relax, close your eyes, and just look straight ahead. I've been doing this since 2017. So this is a relatively a new phenomena for me. Again, this is 2021. So how many years is that? 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. So yeah, 4 years. Yeah, and I started, mm, yeah, I think I started in January of 2017. Yeah, I was too lazy to get out of bed. I said, oh, I'm too tired to go sit on my like I have like an altar table, places where you can just sit and meditate and all that. I was too tired to get out of bed and too lazy to get out of bed. And it's cold outside. I said, I'd rather stay in my covers and hey, let me just do meditation right here. So I learned, hey, it had to be nice, toasty, warm, comfortable. See, if you're comfortable, then you can do it. When you're real relaxed and comfortable, and you keep your mind like when I had awakened, I said, hey, let me do a meditation right now. I just woke up and I was just so tired. I kept my eyes closed. I said, let's do a meditation. Boom. And that's when it really started happening, the types of things I've seen. When I'm doing like a regular meditation, when you're sitting at your in the lotus position, you got the candle and the incense, all that, fluff. I don't usually see anything, experience anything. But when you're very relaxed and you're tired, but your mind is awake. That's when the magic happens. And let me tell you something else that the link behind this between the two movies that I was just watching, the Manchurian Candidate and the Adjustment Bureau. Um, oh, I'm sorry, I was going to say now. Um, oh, I remember that I saw what I saw, but there was another occasion. Um, I was in bed and I had a video playing in the background, a YouTube video playing in the background, someone interviewing a person that was allegedly, uh, what's that? I think, what do you call it? The super soldier secret space genre. She allegedly was kidnapped and mind controlled, and the interview's going on, and I'm just, I just had the video, my device, my iPad next to me, and I use it like a radio, like back in the day, I used to have a radio, and I just leave it on and fall asleep to the radio on. Well, I use my computer like a radio, and just play it just to fall asleep under. And I was real relaxed, and I was awake, but really, really relaxed. And I saw the lady. I saw the lady that was being interviewed in my vision. It was extremely clear. Uh, I she the lady now, could she could be in her 50s, something like that. But this one was a younger version of her. She could have been late teens, 20s, and she was just in her underwear, black underwear. I mean, very tasteful. She was covered, and she was kneeling against the wall, leaning against the wall, crouching uh, by the floor and wall, um, and she's looking in my direction, and she had like a smile of relief, like I hope you're here um, to help me or something. That type of look. Um, yeah. And what's her name? Oh, I forget the lady's name, but I do discuss it in past videos. Leslie, I think her name could have been Leslie. What she does now, she has her own business on the West Coast in the United States. She does tours, UFO tours. What do you call it? Like you go to, it's like I think like a Nevada or something. They give them binoculars, night binoculars, and if you go out at nighttime, you might see a spacecraft, and that's what she does. She brings people to see UFO type stuff, phenomena. And so I contacted her by phone. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say phone. By internet. I went on her contact page on a website and her message page with I think Facebook also. There was a messenger. So I did messenger and yeah, and I went on her website and I left the message. She never responded to me. So that I find very odd. Why wouldn't she respond to me? I can't figure it out. I only did it once. I feel, um, I mean, I say who I am, and I'm a female. I'm not some pervert, whatever. But maybe, you know, um, I don't know. This was, I think, 2 years ago now. And I felt awkward to try to mention, contact her again. If someone is meant to hear from you, they will respond. I like to believe that. And it's just, I think this is why I started to have second thoughts about this whole genre of these secret space super soldier program. Because why? Um, it's like if you're perceived as an outsider and another black female, what they call experiencer, uh, wants to get involved, contact these people who are the forefront of the movement. I don't know how else to say it. They don't get in contact with her. And she's a bigger YouTuber than I am. Yeah. She even did a conference. She did at least one conference. And but they don't invite her to their conference. Interesting. How many black women, black American women, do you see in the genre of the secret space super soldier program? None. And you're dismissed. They say, oh, they don't use black people because our genetics, we're harder to MK Ultra. Oh, really? Oh, really? This whole life is a MK Ultra for Black America. Blacks throughout the Americas. We're being controlled by outsiders. I don't know what they mean by MK Ultra. And then there's also a genetic component. I should say a blood component. And that blood component is the O negative component. Those people who are O negative seem to be used in the MK, the secret space super soldiers. So that's another component. And many black people are not O negative, O not at all. Um, but it's interesting. And this other YouTuber who is an experiencer of, um, what do you call it, the ETs, she made mention about this O negative component to people who are experiencers, um, who are in the secret space super soldier program, or people who are ET experiencers. Um, yeah, there's something behind all this. They don't. It's confusing. Why wouldn't she want to get in contact with me? I indicate who I am, how I found her channel and website, and why I'm asking her this question. I would be able to verify for her about her story, what happened to her, because I saw her, but a younger version of her. And she can easily just, hey, just show me a picture of her, when she was younger, and it would verify her claim. But she never got in contact with me. And again, interesting enough that in my search for truth, in this spiritual journey of mine. Again, spiritual journey for me is about awakening from the matrix. The more aware we are, it's the more that we're coming into a awakeness of what reality is. That is a spirituality for me. To get in touch with who you really are. Who are you? Who are we? And why are we living this life? Why? Why are we here? And that's what I was asking myself this morning again as I was watching both movies today, Manchurian Candidate and The Adjustment Bureau. What are our lives really all about? That's the story. That is the story. So that lady, I think her name is Leslie. She never got in contact with me, and um, I just want to verify. I want to verify that what I'm seeing is something that was real or is an imagination. So as that lady was talking in the video, that's when the vision appeared. I was completely conscious, but just relaxing in bed, my eyes closed, and boom, the image came to me as if I were the one standing in front of her as she's seeing me, as if I am the eyes of the person that was in the room where she was. Would it be something if somehow we all are tied together with the same experience? If I was a part of this program, what it's all about. I was in the military. And that's another reason why I started investigating this secret space super soldiers because I started asking myself questions because of things that I experienced while in the military. And again, I'm just a regular person, but we are giving shots. You have no say. Oh, okay, my little doggy. You okay, baby girl? Okay. Yeah, she wasn't supposed. I'm not sure whether she fell off the couch or or jumped off. Yeah, she's still, she had that surgery on her leg. Yeah, you want to come back up? You fell? I'll put you back on. Yeah, you want to get on camera? Yeah. This is Lily. Yeah. Woo, 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 woo. I love you, Lily. Yeah. Yeah, so these are important questions. And I'm frustrated when I feel like I want to try to get close, when I'm getting closer to the answer, whether affirmative or not. I need to know, was that the lady that I saw? Okay. So in discussing that, the lady that I saw, the young woman, um, it seems like when you're focused on someone, something, it's easier for you to connect with them energetically. And it's like extreme focus is another way of dialing a phone number. Think of whether mental telepathy, um, what do you call it, remote viewing, and the like. I think how those sciences work is extreme focus slash energy, like a laser bill. Think of extreme focus as a laser beam that is dialing an address or phone number, and you connect. Because again, what is like you have Bluetooth, right? We have Bluetooth. It's wireless, and you can hear it. Like let's say you had now this is not wireless, but those people who use those wireless ear things, they're able to hear, right? What if you have something wireless but allow you to see? Your eyes are receptors. Your ear is a receptor, your eyes are receptor. And both could be tapped into remotely because we are a computer. We are a biological computer that, sorry, my lips are real dry. We are a biological computer that runs like a Bluetooth. And when you learn how to dial in, see, it's not magic, it's not witchcraft. See, they put all these funky words to things to make you not try it out, to make you fearful of something that is your ability. It is all our ability to see things remotely, to 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 dial in remotely. All of us. It's just some of us maybe are raised in communities or families that know how to do it. And they want to keep it within their community or family. So I think that's all what it's all about. It's not, what is witchcraft? Witchcraft to me is just someone who is a metaphysical um, practitioner. They know how to harness energy. And what is energy? Energy is a type of currency, and you can use it for anything. It's like money. Think of currency, like electrical current, uh, radio currency, uh, t- um, microwave current. It's all a form of energy. Like money, you got nickels, dimes, pennies, and it allows you to purchase slash connect to something else. It's an exchange, but allows you access. Money allows you access. And that's why the, um, how do you say, people are, you notice now how they control people here on this planet through money slash currency. You can't do a damn thing without money. You wouldn't be able to pay your bills, buy food, get gasoline for your car. It's a system that's based on this thing called money slash currency. It allows you to play the game of Monopoly. This is all a Monopoly game, and it is what's in control of the game are those people who initiated the Monopoly game on this 3D world. But there are people who held out, and I commend them. You know who's um, didn't fall into the game or was fighting to prevent this introduction of money. This group, um, I forget the name of them. It starts with an A, but they live in the Indian Ocean. They're black skinned people. They're one of the darkest people on the planet, and they're real tiny. And I did a story on them, a video on them a couple of years back. But they have on YouTube these people, and the so-called Western world went to. Oh, it briefly had the British figures. It had the British invade there, and they did try to set up shop. You see some buildings, old buildings, or ruins of buildings there. Yeah, they were. They couldn't get a stronghold. I mean, of course, yeah, I'm sure they could just bomb the place and take over, but that would be a bit calmer. That would be calmer, big time to wipe out a whole civilization. Um, so now they're using people from India to try to persuade them access. Yeah, yeah. Don't trust them, people. Yeah, they were tenacious, boy. They try to bribe them with pork. They took the pig and they slaughtered it and buried it. No way. They said no. See, once you, energetically, once you accept somebody's offer, food or whatever, they say, oh, we gave you something, so you have to give us something back. But if you're, what's the expression, held out, when you don't accept it, then it's harder to energetically permeate that society. You have to say yes. So it's about free will. And here again, that term free will. You have to have some free will behind what you do, even if it's through trickery. They, through free will, when someone says yes, or receive, let's say they receive a gift from this other nation, whatever, then that is the doorway that these Western worlds come in and to take over. But they did not. I thank God they didn't accept the offer. So here, this nation in the Indian Ocean does not use money, so not in the banking system. They live totally off the grid. Totally. There's no electricity there, no pipe. They live like what they would say, some people say the Stone Age. Yeah. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with them because they want to live. They have enough, they know enough of history. Evidently, these people are teaching their children who teach their children and so on that their island was invaded by outsiders who try to take over, and they're not believing them. Mm-mm. Yep. And yeah, I'm impressed. I hope they hold out. Um, yeah, but now they're getting people from India. Okay, people in India are a little darker in color than British people. So I think the logic is the powers. Say, hell, they might accept someone, a brown skinned person, over a white person. You know, please don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. The people in the Indian Ocean. Yeah, because once you bite into that apple, you're forever caught in the schemes of things, of getting in the banking system that uses fiat money. Fiat money is not backed by anything. It's paper money. And then the banks lend you money that doesn't exist, and then you have to pay interest, you know? It's all a game. It's all a game. And they're doing this game to control in this monopoly game. And so I wonder, in this world system, it seems like, okay, like I made mention about both of the movies, the Manchurian Candidate that came out in 2004, and then the Adjustment Bureau that came out in 2011. Um, they both are similar in the sense that some outside shadow government, whether they're the men in black or some other behind, the cabal, um, it's running the show and can use mind control over you, whether coercively or they control you by introducing a trauma to you, such as a death of a loved one, which would do it, a mother and a brother. That would make any young child um, become problematic. And again, the Truman Show also is a very obvious form of control of someone watching over you. Um, your relationships aren't your relationships. Your friends aren't really your friends. Even your family is not really your family. So that was an extreme case in the movie The Truman Show. I I don't remember what year that came in. But see, Hollywood is showing you all these things because I think it's a part of what they call the what's called predictive programming. And I think once you um, know something exists, then it could perform it in front of you because you're used to seeing it, even though you're against it. Yeah. So um, to tie this all in, there's something going on, and my uh, having the vision today with the Roman style buildings, I think, again, when you concentrate, I believe now that when you concentrate on something um, acutely, it's like dialing someone's phone number, so to speak, energetically, and you connect. Just like as I was mentioning with the program I was watching um, um, on YouTube when I was resting in my bed, and I had a YouTube video playing in the background on this secret space super soldiers. A lady was being interviewed, and I was awake but just relaxed, and I had the vision of the lady who was kidnapped. And so so I'm thinking that correlation, of the lady who's like maybe in her 50s, and then I saw uh, her in a vision of when she was younger, like a teenager or 20s or something like that. So, with that happening, and then the current movie I'm watching earlier today, and closing my eyes and seeing the vision of the Roman styled buildings with the columns, giant columns, I'm wondering whether those that building and those movies, whether that's the link, is that the headquarters where things are being controlled? That is my question in all this. I know it took me a while to get to it, but yeah, something is going on. And so, those of you who know about architecture and buildings, again, not the best drawer, but again, I see that someone's watching. Yeah, if you're familiar, let me show you. Okay, I saw these arches in the vision. That was a part of a molding of a building. And above each of the arches, these squiggly things above each of them. Again, I don't remember what it was, but it was something that I saw that was above each one. And then there was a column, a pillar, a giant pillar. I saw the pillar first, and then I saw the molding on the top of the ceiling. It's where the ceiling and the wall meet. And it had this ornate molding, as I call it. Okay, that's what I saw today. So those of you who know architecture and possibly know the location of something like this, please let me know. Yeah. So I see I've been on here for 107 minutes. And yeah, so that's all that I want to say for today. And I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. I'm glad that I did it. Again, each one teach one. And the more that you share, the more I hope that our awareness on what's really going on behind the scenes and what is possibly interfering with your life, that it you find out and expose it. Expose who's in control, who is harming humanity. Okay. I thank you for this opportunity. Peace and love. And those of you who enjoy this content, um, if you would like to support this channel, you can do so by PayPaling me. My link is at the on my channel, Spirit Journey channel. Uh, on the banner of my channel, on the right-hand side, you will see my PayPal me link. You just click on it, follow the prompt, and any amount would be greatly appreciated. I thank you in advance for your precious gift to me to keep me getting my equipment. Yeah, I had to pay $99 for my replacement phone. Uh, that's what else, and other gear to help make this presentation and my future presentations something enjoyable for you. Thank you again. Peace and love to all of you who listen. Thanks again. Bye bye.